This is a GBN Luncheon edition of news for today, Monday, May 18th, 2026. Coming up in the news, the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, is set to roll out a national emergency simulation exercise. And Grenada honored character gold medalist Deshaun Smart with motorcade and commemorative ceremony. In the region, a powerful earthquake hit east of Antigua and Barbuda on the weekend. On the international front, the Grenada health emergency, or a global health emergency that should read announced following Ebola outbreak. And in sport, Team Grenada shines at Roger Boyce Classic 2026 in Barbados. We have details to these and other stories when we return. The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Bryden and Miners. Welcome back. With the details, I am Christlina John. Well, there was celebration, excitement, and national pride in the air on Saturday as Grenada's lone character gold medalist Deshaun Smart received a hero's welcome during a special celebration in St. Patrick. The young athlete, who proudly captured gold for Grenada at this year's Character Games, was honored for his remarkable achievement and outstanding contribution to athletics and national pride. Residents, supporters, and well-wishers turned out in large numbers to celebrate Smart's success during a lively motorcade and commemorative ceremony held in his honor. The celebratory motorcade made its way from Tivoli in St. Andrew to Hermitage St. Patrick, waving flags, sounding horns, and applauding the rising star track star as he passed through his community. The festivities culminated at Callaloo in Hermitage, where community members and officials gathered for the unveiling of a commemorative signage recognizing Smart's historic accomplishments and dedication to the sport. Moving along, in just under an hour's time, the Ministry of Health will host a one-day food handlers certification training. Food handlers across Grenada as it continues its efforts to safeguard public health and reduce the risk of foodborne illnesses. The initiative is aimed at promoting safe food practices and raising awareness about the critical role of proper food in preventing illnesses. Health officials stress that improper food handling can lead to contamination, which may result in serious health risks for customers, including food poisoning and the spread of infectious diseases. They note that maintaining proper hygiene, correct food storage, and safe preparation methods are essential steps in protecting both individuals and the wider community. Participants will be equipped with essential knowledge and practical skills to ensure food is handled, prepared, and stored in a safe and sanitary manner. It is hoped that all food handlers will take that advantage or the advantage of this opportunity as part of a broader push to strengthen public health standards and ensure consumer safety. The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, will conduct a national emergency simulation exercise starting tomorrow, Tuesday, May 19th, to the 21st. The exercise, dubbed Exercise Elevate, is designed to test the country's preparedness and response capabilities in the event of a disaster or national emergency. According to NADMA, the exercise will focus on several key emergency response areas, including shelter management, mass casualty management, and emergency operations center management. A number of agencies and organizations across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique will or are expected to participate. These include the Royal Grenada Police Force, Health Services, District Disaster Committees, the Grenada Red Cross Society, YAC, St. George's University, the Maurice Bishop International Airport, His Majesty's Prison, and members of the private sector. NADMA is advising the public that there will be increased emergency response activities throughout the trial and state during the 3-day exercise. Motorists and residents are being encouraged to cooperate fully with emergency personnel to ensure the smooth execution of the exercise activities. The agency is also reminding the public that all NADMA vehicles are equipped with green and white flashing lights, as well as sirens and horns for emergency response purposes. And finally, on the local front, the Caribbean Climate Resilience and Agricultural Forum, the CCRAF, on the road, Grenada edition, was officially launched today at the Ministry of Agriculture Conference Room. The week-long initiative aims to promote climate resilience, sustainable agriculture, and food security through activities including school visits, farm tours, hydroponic and drone demonstration, youth engagement sessions, and practical discussions on climate-smart farming. Led by the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture, ICA, the program brings together farmers, policymakers, researchers, and community stakeholders to strengthen awareness, innovation, and sustainable agricultural practices across Grenada and the wider Caribbean. This concludes our local segment of the news, which came to your compliments, Brighton and Miners. Do stay with us for your regional outlook.
This Monday on Beyond the Headlines, for 35 years, Jab Jab music has been the heartbeat of Grenada's culture. Powerful, provocative, and unmistakably Grenadian. Host Colin Dow leads a compelling discussion with Lennox Douglas, lead vocalist of Moss International, Ian Charles, team member of Jambalasi Grenada, Ali Gill, cultural commentator, and Wilt Talpre Cambridge, cultural ambassador. Together,
welcome back. And now for a probe across the region. A powerful earthquake hits east of Antigua and Barbuda on the weekend. Well, we get details on the aftermath. We have this and more in today's OCM News Network report from the OCM News Network. This segment of the news comes to you compliments of Fortune Foods Limited.
This Monday on Beyond the Headlines, for 35 years, Jab Jab music has been the heartbeat of Grenada's culture. Powerful, provocative, and unmistakably Grenadian. Host Colin Dow leads a compelling discussion with Lennox Douglas, lead vocalist of Moss International, Ian Charles, team member of Jambalasi Grenada, Ali Gill, cultural commentator, and Wilt Talpre Cambridge, cultural ambassador. Together, they explore the evolution, influence, and lasting impact of Jab Jab music on Spice Mass and Grenadian culture. Beyond the Headlines presents 35 years of Jab Jab music. Monday, May 18th at 8:30 p.m. live on
Residents across Antigua and Barbuda have been describing scenes after a powerful earthquake struck northeast of the country. According to the Seismic Research Center of the University of the West Indies, the earthquake occurred at a depth of 31 kilometers last Saturday. The earthquake had a magnitude of 6.4. Director of the Seismic Research Center, Ursula Joseph, says preliminary data placed the epicenter at latitude 17.39 north and longitude 61.18 west, approximately 80 kilometers northeast of Antigua, Barbuda.
Given the size of today's event, it is expected that there will likely be aftershocks in the coming days to weeks, some of which may be felt. The SRC continues to monitor seismic activity in the area and will update the local authorities and the public as needed, with information being shared on our website and social media platforms.
There were no immediate reports of injuries or major damage, although residents across several communities reported strong tremors. Other countries that felt the tremors include the British Virgin Islands, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Martinique, St. Lucia, Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis, Venezuela, Caribbean Netherlands, and Anguilla. The Eastern Caribbean experiences frequent seismic activity because the region lies near the boundary of the Caribbean and North American tectonic plates. In Jamaica, 3 men have been shot, 2 of them fatally, during an alleged confrontation with the police in Trelawney. The men were up to last evening unidentified. Investigators say the incident occurred at about 8 p.m. on Saturday. The details of the incident have not yet been released. According to the police, the wounded men were taken to hospital, where 2 were pronounced dead and the other warded. The matter has been reported to the Independent Commission of Investigations. Economist Professor Justin Robinson has given government high praise for its decision to secure a standby arrangement with the International Monetary Fund. Speaking in the aftermath of Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley's announcement that Barbados would have access to $260 million in funding over a 3-year period if needed, Professor Robinson said the arrangement is comparable to having a strong insurance policy in place.
It sort of preserves this institutional relationship that Barbados has had with the IMF, which the current administration seems to value. I think if some people have asked about the 1980s, 90s comparisons, because I guess the instruments have the same name, but the context is entirely different in that there is no crisis. The country is trying to buy insurance.
However, last week, Professor Robinson added that it is understandable why members of the public may still have further questions about the arrangement.
I guess the deeper issue is why, having done so well, that Barbados still feels the need to be in this program, which I think is a deeper question. Why an economy with these strengthened fundamentals still needs an external insurer at all. And I think the answer points to the unresolved structural vulnerabilities of small island states. So I would argue that Barbados has moved from being a program country in crisis to being a precautionary country approaching in confidence. I think the challenge is to use the next 36 months and the period of the arrangement to undertake some of the structural changes in the economy.
Meanwhile, still in Barbados, police are investigating an alleged case of fraud at the Barbados Community College. Reports say the alleged case of academic dishonesty happened following a student's attempt to sit an exam on behalf of another student after presenting the original student's identification. In a media release, the BCC says when the ruse was discovered, the institution activated its dishonesty academic policy and the police were called in. The student was removed and the exam continued uninterrupted.
Have you heard about...
Fire up the coals, bring the flavor. It's time to crown the King of the Grill. Maggie King of the Grill 2026 is calling you. Think you got the creativity, the skills, and the fire to rule the grill? This is the ultimate showdown for chefs, backyard masters, and the food lovers alike. Step up, show your talent, and claim your spot among the best. With over $5,000 in cash and prizes to be won, the stakes has never been hotter. Happening Saturday, May the 30th. Register now. Call or WhatsApp 407-8458. But hurry, registration close April the 30th. Don't wait.
Thanks for staying with us. And now for a look further afield. While U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a fresh warning to Iran with peace negotiations stalled, he told Iran that the clock is ticking. His latest threat comes as he rejected Iran's response to the White House peace proposal. Here's more in this report.
Donald Trump, on his Truth Social account overnight, posted an AI-generated image. It warns of, quote, the calm before the storm. That particular AI-generated post, it shows the U.S. president surrounded by military vessels with lightning striking down from dark clouds above. So people trying to interpret what's going on here. Because all of this really coming in the midst of these media reports from the New York Times and also Fox News saying that the U.S. is weighing restarting strikes on Iran. Trump, as you know, has grown increasingly frustrated with Iran after Iran responded to that peace proposal sent by the U.S. Trump called it absolutely unacceptable. He told reporters on his return to China about how he apparently read the first line and he really didn't like that first line and just decided to throw it away.
An Ebola outbreak in Congo and Uganda has been declared a global health emergency by the World Health Organization. Officials say the current strain is caused by a virus for which there is no approved drugs or vaccines. Here's more in this FSN report.
Designation is reserved for diseases that have a very high risk of spreading to neighboring countries, and ideally it's meant to mobilize resources and expertise. This Ebola outbreak has happened in an area that is grappling with a conflict. There are a number of armed groups that have been attacking civilians, forcing them to flee their homes and live in crowded camps, and that is an area that facilitates the spread of this infectious disease. Ituri province, where it's happened in the northeast of the DRC, is also an area that shares a border with Uganda and South Sudan. There's a lot of cross-border trade around that area. People keep moving from one area to another.
Good afternoon, sporting fans, and now for your sporting highlights. While Team Grenada amateur semi-pro squad delivered an outstanding performance on the opening day of the 2026 Roger Boys Classic in Barbados, securing multiple podium finishes and showcasing the island's growing strength in regional bodybuilding competition. Leading the charge was newcomer Daniel Louison, who made a memorable regional debut by capturing first place in the men's physique UP 179 categories. His victory highlighted a strong start for Grenada's contingent and signaled the arrival of another promising athlete on the Caribbean bodybuilding scene. Grenada also celebrated a strong performance from Rashid Bridgman, who earned second place in the men's physique UP 179 division. Bridgman continued his impressive showing by adding a third place finish in the men's physique junior category. Javon Joseph also made his mark during the competition, securing third place in the men's physique UP 176 after previously claiming a second place in the men's physique junior division. Meanwhile, Kevin Frederick delivered another consistent and competitive performance for Team Grenada, earning second place in classic physique and third place in men's bodybuilding. The strong results on day one has placed Team Grenada among the standout delegations at this year's Roger Boys Classic, with athletes demonstrating determination, discipline and high-level preparation on the regional stage. Attention now turns to day two of the competition, where Odell Cato, Grantley Charles and Ronaldo Parks are set to make their debut appearance in the IFBB Pro category. And that's your sporting highlights. Do stay with us for a recap of the headlines when we come back. Recapping the headlines that made the news today, the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, is set to roll out a national emergency simulation exercise, and that's from tomorrow. And Grenada honored Carifta gold medalist Deshaun Smart with a motorcade and commemorative ceremony. In the region, a powerful earthquake hit east of Antigua and Barbuda on the weekend. On the international front, a global health emergency announced following Ebola outbreak. And Team Grenada shines at the Roger Boys Classic 2026 in Barbados. This has brought us to the end of the luncheon edition of news for today, Monday, May 18th, 2026. On behalf of the entire news team, I have been your presenter, Christlina John, thanking you for having joined us.